Hey guys, and welcome to Behind the Curtain, week, one of them, the weekly series, where I go ahead and talk about my week and a running theme throughout it. As you can tell, I might as well drop the whole weekly thing from the intro, because I'm gonna be honest, it's just not gonna happen, because I have terrible timekeeping, and me getting time to myself nowadays is very difficult, and I spread that across a mix of different things I want to do, without getting mithered, you know what I mean. But anyway, I still, like I said in the last one, want to try and make as many of these as I can. I still have things to talk about, all of that good old stuff, although I say that and I actually don't have like a main whole topic today, but we'll see how much I can waffle. But yeah, I guess, I'll touch on last week's, I'll touch on the last one mainly first. Thank you for all the people who reached out and stuff like that, and for all the people who kind of expressed similar sort of things. I appreciate it, even though it kind of wasn't really the intention, but you know. But yeah, if you're wondering where I'm at right now, I won't lie and say it's really a different place, because it's not. It's still a very iffy position, and I think this next month or so is going to have some high highs and some low lows. But we will see. We'll see where we go. I'm trying my best to be optimistic. I'm trying to remind myself that despite how rough situations can be, that I got to keep going. And that's going to be kind of like the topic of today, kind of. Although I've kind of touched on that before, but it's a different context now, right? So we'll dive into it. But yeah, as far as the week goes, we'll do a little summary of the, it's been like 3 weeks? No, it can't be 3 weeks. It must be 2 weeks, right? How many weeks has it been? Well, I can't hear you right now, but I'm sure you're yelling at me either 3 or 2. Maybe it's 3, I have a feeling it might be 3. No, I can't have been in this state for 3 weeks. Maybe it's 3. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so over the past few weeks, I've been doing work stuff, pretty casual, not really much to talk about there. Same state as it was at. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but as far as the job goes, it's fairly enjoyable, and I don't hate my life. The people there are really nice, and they can help carry the days a bit. But also, I once again have the statement of my work life is actually kind of less stressful than my life right now, which is kind of crazy. But we'll see how that goes. Other activities-wise, I've not really been doing much activity-wise, apart from one specific thing we'll get into. Yeah, I've kind of just been doing my usual stuff. I've been doing a lot of just kind of chilling on my own, but I will admit from the last video, I've tried to arrange some group things where we kind of chilled together, which has been awesome, but of course, it's kind of very limited. But it has been fun, to kind of try and reconnect those bonds and stuff like that as well as I can. Hopefully I'm going to keep trying to rectify that. It's kind of, I don't know if tiring is the right word, but I really wish it wasn't in my hands to do so. But I think I've kind of learned that that's how my life is. I'm always going to be, what's the word, the reacher? The reacher, not the settler? What's, I don't know. Maybe that's a relationship term. I don't know. Yeah, I'm always going to be the one who, puts my arm out. You know what I mean? You guys get what I mean by that? I'm always one to extend my hand, not take somebody else's, mainly because I don't often get offered on somebody else. But anyway, I'm trying not to get too sad today. So yeah, not really too much doing there, but yeah, some stuff like that has been nice. We've had some fun times together. Me and a few of the lads have been playing a new game. Well, I say been playing, we played it once, called Murky Divers, which is kind of like a new Lethal Company sort of thing. If you're on my Twitter, you will have seen a really funny clip from it. That's awesome. The other kind of main thing, I guess, this week is my voice is gotten a lot worse, mainly because of the amount of screaming I did on Friday and Saturday. Friday, of course, was Jackcast Game Night. It was one of the most fun events I can remember playing, to be honest. It was so much fun. It was a really nice break that I really, really wanted. So thank you to all the team and all the staff behind that. Of course, the team I played with and everybody like that as well. It was a lot of fun. I doubt any of them watching, but yeah. So, the other thing that killed my voice, my voice being dead is really bad because I have potentially something coming up a week on Friday where I might be doing a solo for the first time in 6 years, and I want to attempt a really hard song, and if I bottle that, like I bottled on Audition a few weeks ago that I think I mentioned about last week, not last week, last time, Ooh, I might never show my face anywhere ever again, but we'll see. So yeah, Saturday was a weird one, right? So this week has been a really weird one because I felt like I've had whiplash, right? Like, so basically, I was at somebody's party on the weekend, on the Saturday, and the craziest thing happened, right? I'm just sat there, minding my own business. I'm not, like, antisocial at parties, but especially when I'm not, like, the closest to the people involved. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to go around doing shots, and I don't really drink alcohol at parties that I'm not, like, really, really close to the main people at or whatever. Yeah. Just kind of do my own thing, especially when I'm there with family and all that sort of stuff. Sit around, talk about a few topics, try and have a laugh with some people, that sort of stuff. But this party was a little different. Because people started being like, oh, why don't you dance? Somebody asked me, why aren't you on the dance floor right now? And I would turn to them and was like, do I look like I can dance? And they didn't really know how to respond to that one, so I respect them for that. Because they could have said no, and it would be fair. But yeah, and they were just like, wait, you're dancing right now? I'm like, I'm not dancing right now. You know that thing where there's like music playing, you're like swaying in your chair? So yeah, I was doing that, and long story short, this bit kept going, and then this person was like, really wanted to get up and dance to this song. And I was like, and they were like, come on, because they also eventually were like, oh, I'm a bit like nervous about it, I'm not super confident about stuff like that. Although they were drinking alcohol, so they had a slight advantage over me. And I was like, no. Another person comes over, and then they're like, oh, come on. And then, like, they start pulling my arm, and I'm at that point where I'm like, man, maybe I should just take the leap of faith, you know, maybe I should just do it, see what happens, have a bit of fun. And then another part of me's like, oh, no, I have no confidence. No, I can't do that. And then they keep pulling. And then eventually, they pull my chair, right? They pull my chair onto the dance floor, and then one of them goes behind me, grabs my hips, and pulls me up from the hips. And the other one pulls me by my arms. And then, it's not just that, right? You're thinking, oh yeah, and then you're on the dance floor, you know, you're on there for like 2 minutes, and you're awkward, and then you leave. No. They make a circle around me, so I cannot escape. They make a circle around me, and they're all singing and dancing, and I'm stood there like the biggest fish out of water. I'm stood there like a great what's the thing I'm looking for? Like a big whale. I don't know. I can't remember the species. A big whale, right? Out of water. Like it was honestly top 10 worst moments in my life, right? But I stayed there because I was like, I gotta be social, hi. And it was I was laughing because it was so funny. It was like awkward funny, you know. People were like, everybody else had been drinking. They were all like doing really awkward things, like thrusting on me and stuff like that. Not in that way, like, you know, guys being dudes. And it was so funny. Really awkward, but really funny. And then, you know, other people come over, and then I start dancing with people. Well, I don't start dancing with people, but I start talking to people about dancing and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I have no confidence. I have a nice chat with somebody and stuff like that, and it ended up being a really nice night. I wish I had more confidence to kind of... Right. You know that thing at dance... Maybe this is a UK thing, but at, like, parties, right, where everybody does that, like, 40-year-old guy dance. You know the one, right, where they, like step into... You know, like, Rick Astley and Never Gonna Give You Up, that dance, basically. Everybody does that, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a 40-year-old man, right? So I feel so awkward doing it, especially when I'm the only guy there who's stone cold sober. And also, when your parents are watching, because, like, I'm not about to start, like, busting the craziest moves I have in my locker with my parents there. By the way, that was crazy exaggeration. I have no moves in my locker. But you know what I mean, right? You can't get the Rizotron levels on. That is the worst thing I've ever said. You can't get the peak vibes when you got a situation like that. But you know, we see. And it's an enjoyable time. I spent a lot with specific two people, and it's a lot of fun. Felt kind of like an out-of-body experience, right? It was really awkward, but it ended and I was like, wow, that was really special. I wish I could do that again. And yeah, it was a really great time that, you know, every so often life throws you a bone, and like you get like something that's really special. And that was one of them, you know, like it's one of those things where you barely even remember it's happening. Like you just discard it as like a weird event that doesn't really matter. And then it happens, and something special happens. And, you know, the aftermath might not be the intended aftermath. You know, maybe there was a bit too much hope that was created by the event. we'll wait and see. There's some behind the scenes stuff going on. I'm not going to delve too deep into that stuff because that is really sad. And, well, it's not really sad, but, like, it makes you seem like a loser, bro. So I'm not going into that deep stuff. But, yeah, it's potential aftermath stuff happening. Probably bad, but, well, not bad, but, like, unfortunate. But, you know, it could be incredible and could be, like, some amazing thing that happens to people. We'll see. I don't really delve too much into it. But, yeah, it was a great time. And even in the moment, right, I was there and the person asked me, yo, admit, oh, well, not yo, that's real weird, but, admit it, you had fun dancing. I couldn't admit it, right? I could not admit it to myself. I couldn't sit there and admit it, because I was so embarrassed, right? I was so embarrassed, because I'm such a loser. Like, I'm such a loser. Like, I could not admit it. But anyway, in the end, I kind of admitted it and then messaged and admitted it, you know, because the game is the game. But it was a good time, and it's one of those things where, like, I wish I could go back and relive it, and I wish I had more confidence. We've talked about this before. I literally, like, I froze up in so many circumstances there. Like, I kept, like, doing this, like, nervous thing of, like, trying to dance along while not looking like a 40-year-old man. And then I kept, like, rubbing, like, below my nose. Like, it was like a nervous reaction. Like, I've never done that before in my life. Like, I don't know what was going on with me in that thing, but it was a lot of fun, and I wish I could do it again so I could do it better and, like, with more confidence, but I also don't know if I could do that. And that led me into a thing today. So today at work, we're just talking, and then I said a phrase that I quite often say, that you've probably heard me say before if you've watched a lot of content of mine. What's the worst that could happen? And I said it, and then the guy turned to me and was like, well, actually, quite a lot. I was like, well, yeah, you're right, actually. Then I sat and thought, hang on. I've said that line my whole life. My whole life I've said that line, what's the worst that could happen, right? Funny little joke, like, what's the worst? And then the worst thing happens, right? I don't follow it, though. And I really wish I could. I want to try and train myself into this, like, what is the worst that could happen mentality, right? Not to the point where I'm, like, oblivious to, like, actual consequences. But to the point where I'm like, you know what? Live a little. I remember hearing this piece of advice a while ago that it's like your 20s, whatever, are the years for making mistakes. But I don't allow myself to make mistakes, right? I have to... When it comes to me, I am so self-conscious of two things. Either hurting myself or hurting other people. And basically, any risk ever risks one of those two things, right? So I always play it safe. I don't take risks. I did a thing this weekend that was really, really out of my comfort zone. And I'm, like, proud of myself for it, even though it's kind of blown up in my face. But I've kind of proven myself, you know, I didn't fully motivate myself to do it, right? But I did do it, right? At the end of the day, I was the one who pushed myself to, like, do a certain thing. And I was happy for myself for doing that. And I wish I could do that more. Because at the end of the day, what is the worst that could happen? Now, obviously, you could sit there and tell me actually what the worst that could happen is, and you'd be right. It could be bad, right? But I need to start living off of the mentality that, you know, I like jokingly preach, you know, like in general, I preach a lot of things that if I kind of, yeah, I have a lot of advice that I give people that, you know, can help them that I just don't follow myself. And, yeah, I need to be able to follow that. I know, it's been an interesting one, right? Because I've been working on it, I've been thinking about it. I just wish I was more confident. Because I think Saturday could have been, that pie could have been like a monumental life moment for me, and I fumbled it because of my confidence. And that's probably hard for you to understand without more context, but I don't want to provide more context. But yeah, it was really special. And maybe special is overstating it. But it's just one of those things where it happened and you're like, wow. I was literally sat afterwards thinking about it. Like, wow, that was, you know, I got out of my comfort zone. I'm thankful to the person for kind of getting me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Because normal me would never even get up to dance, right? Like, you'd never be able to catch me doing that. I don't know what it was that pushed me to even get up there. Well, I actually do know what it was, but anyway. It was special. And I don't know if much will come from it, but if nothing else comes from it, I want a bit of a confidence increase to come from it, hopefully. You know, that sort of, what is the worst that could happen? Maybe I need to just try some things. Maybe I need to accept the failures, but I'm too scared of failing other people or failing myself that I don't take risks. It's the same thing with this audition. I feel like I mentioned, but I'm not sure 100%. Did an audition for a song, and I bottled it. And I kind of took it as after a bunch of bad things happening in my life recently. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something for me. I'm going to do this audition. I'm going to smash it out of the park. I'm going to do a hard song. And I bottled it, right? I failed, and I was torn. I was like, I was really at a really low point. But it happens, right? And it's about getting up. And like I've said before, it's about surviving and not losing yourself to it. And no matter what happens, never losing yourself. You know, don't let bad people make you bad. You know, I try my best to do good things. And apparently, some people might think I'm like trying to do that to prove something, right? And I guess I am. I'm trying to prove something to myself, but I'm also just trying to be good, because why wouldn't you want to be good, you know? I know why, because like I've said in the past, it's easy to be bad. It's easy to do the wrong thing. That's the easy way out, right? It's so easy to look at a situation and do the selfish thing. It's so easy to look at a situation, be like, you know what? I'm mad at this person. I'm going to lash out at them. I'm not an angel. I've done that. I continue to do that. I'm never going to not do that, right? But stopping and thinking and trying, you know, having that spark, that part of you that still tries, that still hopes that things will get better, that never gives up truly is what matters the most. And I think that is the part of me that I am probably most grateful for. I had this conversation with my dad. I said, what do you think it is? And I've mentioned this before as well. I'm really reiterating myself now, but what do you think it is that makes me react to the things that happen the way I do? It would be so easy, I feel like, for somebody experiencing what I've experienced to take it bad, right? To lose any sense of hope and become a toxic, like, locked away person. So I have an eye, you know? And maybe this sounds self-centered, but I truly believe that. I've got to put some faith in myself. I've got to start believing in myself a bit more. And I've got to realize that that is a really good quality that I do have. What is it that makes it so I'm a survivor, right? Like that, I think that's probably the best way to describe me, right? Maybe, I don't know if hopeful is the right one, because although maybe this is a bad example of me being hopeful. But I am quite a hopeful person in general. You would think, like, oh, I can be realistic when it comes to, like, logistical, like, tasks, but when it comes to, like, actual life stuff, I'm quite an optimistic person. I'll always try and be, like, you know, looking at the bright side of things. Otherwise, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't do that. What is it in me, and I've mentioned this before, which chooses not the good thing, right? Like, maybe not the right thing all the time, but like the thing that is most of the time, what makes me guided by what are my own morals? What is that? What is it that makes me get hurt and then not continue to hurt other people all the time because of that? Turn that into a bad thing. What is it that makes me stop and think, no, I got to keep going. I can't break. I got to keep being myself. What is it? I don't think I'm ever going to find the answer. And I asked my dad that, and he didn't seem to know either. And I think, you know, I guess it's all nature and nurture, right? It's the way I'm brought up, the environments I'm around, and even that I think is a weird one to say, right? Because I haven't been around the best environments. You know, I've been alone a lot. I've been hurt a lot. But I think the family that's surrounding me is really helped me recognize, you know, how I should be treated. And there's a lot of things that I sit there and think, wow, for some reason I don't take a lot of the past stuff for granted. Why don't I? Not in general. I do take a lot of stuff for granted. I feel like everybody does. But like specific past things, family members, etc. You know, I mentioned previously about my granddad, right? I think he's a big part of this whole mentality, right? Of what I've mentioned in the past. I've said, like, I continue going for the people who can't go anymore. Why do I do that? What part of me that is so distinctly me is that? Why am I like that? Is there a certain life event that you could isolate? Is it all the hurt that's propelled me that way? Even if it was, other people, you know, can have all that hurt and then not be propelled that way. You know what I mean? It's an interesting one. I'm curious what you guys have to think. And yeah, in a whole, I'm not really much of a better place. I had a really nice weekend, but I think it's going to end up being slightly tainted. But I gotta just cherish things for what they were, you know? Enjoy things. You know, as I was saying with the whole, what's the worst that could happen? Take risks. I gotta start doing stuff for me. I gotta start doing stuff out of my comfort zone, you know? Nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run. Sonic the Hedgehog. What can I say? Maybe that's it. Maybe Sonic the Hedgehog is the driving factor in why I'm like I am. How crazy would that be? A scientific study into the actual reason why I am like I am, and the conclusion is Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I don't think it is, but it's definitely a part of it. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But how your guys' week's been? You know, are you experiencing similar things? Have you had a similar experience, you know, a party sort of thing, you know? How's your lives been, you know? How are you guys doing? Once again, I don't really know how frequent I'm going to be able to do these. But yeah. Final note, you probably realized in a stream or whatever, I've got a new main skin. If you watch Behind the Curtain consistently, you will remember the second ever episode was talking about kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing things with gold. So this is my brand new main skin, made by Dovey and concepted by Yupitsu. And it is a really awesome idea, and it helps kind of get some uniqueness to my brand per se. And it shows a part of me, right? I am forged by the things that have happened to me. And I show, you know, I don't shy away from those things anymore. You know, I can't sit there and isolate myself because I've been hurt. I'm not allowing myself to do that, and Kintsugi is a representation of that. You know, yeah, I've been hurt, but I'm here. You know, I'm stronger because of it, and no matter what keeps on happening to me, even if I am the last person on Earth, I'm still standing like Elton John. That was really bad. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. I need to rest my voice this week in a bit. I'll see if I update you guys next week. It's possible, but I also will probably forget. And maybe I'll update you on some cool things that happened after the aftermath of that party. I probably won't. But thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Side note, content creation is basically falling apart now. I've not really looked at my recent viewership, but pretty sure it's really low on streaming events and stuff. And I'm very much teetering on the edge of irrelevant, if not already. That's a pill I have to swallow. I've taken my chance, and I still won't ever want to truly give up on content creation and making people happy, but maybe this won't be the only form I do it in. Maybe one day I'll win the lottery and somehow I'll find people who connect with me more and all that sort of stuff. We never know. But yeah, I've rambled a lot, even though I said I was ending like 4 minutes ago. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next one, or in the next stream, which, to be honest, is probably a while away. Actually, it might be an IRL stream. We got the lads meet up soon. So there should be some IRL videos coming back over like the next month or two, which should hopefully be special. But I would cherish them because I don't know how many of those we'll have. You know, cherish the things you have, because you never know when you might not have them anymore. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for sticking with me if you've been around for a long time. If you've been around for 2 minutes, I appreciate it. And I hope you can tell that that I am who I am. I don't sit and lie. I don't fake things. I stay true to myself. I believe, at least, and I have to believe it, right? I can't just keep sitting there and thinking. I like to think I come across as, I believe that I am true to myself, and I gotta keep getting that ingrained into my head. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, guys.